Good morning, New Life Napa. It's good to see you here today, dropping in on YouTube and Facebook. Just wanted to remind you that today is Good Friday. It's the day that we commemorate the death of Jesus Christ on Calvary. This is the day that the body of the Lord was broken so that he could purchase our salvation. We are not going to be able to be together this weekend on Easter. And of course, today would be a good day to obviously take communion together. We can't do that. But Jesus said that we need to remember the broken body of the Lord. He reminded his disciples and told them, instructed them at that last Passover supper together, that they were to do this. And Paul, many years later, reminds the church, as oft as you do it in remembrance of me. And so Good Friday is the day that we remember the crucifixion of the Lord. I'd like to read a passage today from the book of Luke, chapter 23. I have it here in front of me, verse 44. And now it was about the 6th hour, and there was darkness over the whole land until the 9th hour. While the sunlight faded and the curtain of the temple was torn in two, then Jesus called out with a loud voice and said, "Father, into your hands I commit my spirit." And having said this, he breathed his last. Now when the centurion saw what had taken place, he praised God, saying, "Certainly this man was innocent." And all the crowds that assembled for this spectacle, when they saw what had taken place, returned home, beating their breast. And all of his acquaintances and the women who had followed him from Galilee stood at a distance watching these things. I know that we live in unprecedented times right now. Our grandparents' generation, they remembered, and it defined their lives. It was the time of the Great Depression. I have a feeling, moving on into the future, that we and our generation will remember this time of the pandemic. It's going to mark our generation. Seems like chaotic times, but could you imagine the day on that Good Friday when Jesus' followers looked to the cross and they saw their Savior. They saw the one that was going to free them from Roman domination, the one that would deliver them. And there he hung cruelly on a cross. Now, those people, those days, did not have the privilege of knowing the future. They didn't have the privilege of flipping in their Bible a page or a chapter or two over and reading the end of the story. For that 3-day period, it was horror and devastation as their Savior, as their deliverer, lay in a grave. Obviously, we know the rest of the story. We know what happened. We understand that 3 days later, on that bright Sunday morning, the stone rolled back and Jesus came alive out of the grave, resurrected, having power over death and the grave. And he is alive forevermore. This coming Sunday, we're going to celebrate the resurrection. I trust you will join us here, both on Facebook and YouTube, as we observe the resurrection, as we celebrate the resurrection. Yes, it will be different. Yes, it won't be as good. And no, we won't be together. But the resurrection nonetheless happened. And it was exciting then, and it is exciting now. So I invite you to join us Sunday morning. We will be broadcasting at 11. And it will be an Easter message. We're going to have a few songs that have been prepared that we will be showing also both on YouTube and Facebook on that Sunday morning. So join us, share these events. When it comes up on your stream, if there's a share button, please share it. If you're on Facebook, start a watch party. We want to get as many people involved in the resurrection of Jesus as possible. I pray that you have a great day. Let's remember Jesus today at about noon. From noon until 3 is when the actual events occurred. Of course, we don't know the actual dates, but today's the day that we observe them. So remember the death of Jesus today on this Good Friday, but we know Sunday's coming. Lord bless you.